Yeah, the move. Whatever hand you hit, you move to that side. Left hook, boom! You gotta think of throwing punches. Your job is to throw punches.
Dog with sheep, it will become a sheep.
Anthony Joshua is reportedly training with Mike Tyson as he prepares for his upcoming showdown against Jake Paul. Joshua has been studying old-school techniques once used by Tyson's legendary trainers to sharpen his craft, and his focus now centers on strategy, speed, and raw power. His camp is pushing a mix of tactical planning and intense conditioning, all designed to ensure Joshua enters the ring fully prepared and performing at his absolute peak for the challenge ahead.
Him coming forward, punching to the body with his...
Anthony Joshua revealed how Mike Tyson inspired him, especially through his unmatched power and iron discipline. Now AJ has added specific neck and shoulder exercises to his routine, directly modeled after Tyson's methods. He explains that these drills boost strength, stability, and punching force, proving how studying the greats can reshape and elevate his own training approach.
Size that I got from Mike Tyson, a lot of wrestlers do this. Quite dangerous actually. Physios don't like this type of stuff, but it's good for neck conditioning. It's called neck bridges. And it's flexibility and strength at the same time, so it's a really good exercise.
Mike Tyson advised Anthony Joshua, calling him an incredible fighter with massive potential. He stressed that staying active is the real key to growth, explaining that constant time in the ring sharpens skills, strengthens confidence, and keeps a fighter performing at their absolute peak.
Give to somebody like AJ.
That he has a lot of talent and not to get discouraged. He only loses when he quits. When you quit, all the doors of opportunities close. You know what I mean? You have to be game, and then don't get discouraged if you lose. Listen, you just lost, you may have got $30 million. I just think the more time you lay off, the worse you get. You have to fight constantly. To be the best, you have to do it.
Anthony Joshua is training intensively in camp, adopting key elements from Mike Tyson's iconic style. He's added specialized neck rolls and strength drills to boost resilience and power, while sharpening his overall conditioning, speed, and technique. Every workout is crafted to increase his punching force, agility, and endurance, proving AJ is fully committed to refining his skills and asserting complete dominance in the ring.
Oh, my physio is looking at me like, what the fuck? I can see you looking at me like, fuck, please don't fuck you. Hey, if it goes, at least you're here anyway. You know, 43,000 tuned in. Oh, mate. I know I started this shit.
Mate, just trying to set up the physio table for the platform.
Anything.
Get back up.
I'm easy, but...
Eat.
Showtime sent me a lovely picture of me with the dog.
Eddie Hearn has made it very clear that he believes Anthony Joshua would defeat Jake Paul if the fight ever happens. He insists that while Jake Paul is not viewed as a top-level boxer or a major name in traditional boxing circles, people should not assume Joshua's victory would come without effort. Hearn explains that Joshua has a proven history of beating dangerous opponents, including Francis Ngannou, who is an elite fighter in his own right. This comparison matters because it shows that Joshua's success comes from skill, preparation, and discipline, not from facing weak or inexperienced challengers. Hearn stresses that Joshua trains relentlessly and carries a blend of power, technique, and strategy that allows him to dominate fighters at every level.
Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua, 50-50 fight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But, as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world...
Nigel Benn expresses deep concerns about how entertainment-driven fights are affecting professional boxing. He believes that when celebrities or social media personalities step into the ring, it creates an environment where traditional fighters, who spend their entire lives training and competing at the highest level, are not receiving the financial respect they deserve. Ben notes that the pay for real competitive boxers is often modest compared to the enormous sums earned in crossover events fueled by hype and viral attention. These spectacle-style fights attract massive audiences and lucrative sponsorships, resulting in huge paydays for participants who may lack the same experience or skill. Ben argues that this growing trend could damage the sport by undermining the years of dedication and sacrifice made by true professional boxers.
Bit of rumours around today, Anthony Joshua and
Oh,
Jake.
No. I'm not even really entertaining that. It's just not. Being a two-time heavyweight champion of the world, it's I don't know, YouTubers. I'm not really into all the influencers coming in there, and there's like some boxers that really work their butt off, don't get paid like what these guys are getting. And Anthony Joshua being a former world champion should be fighting like, someone in the top 5, top 10. So I really got much time to talk about that. Not interested, really.
Bad for boxing?
Well, not bad for boxing. If people want to pay to watch it, then who am I? I'm just giving you my opinion. Who's not worked his way through the ranks to earn that shot at the former world champion? No, not at all.
Australian boxing. Who are you a fan of? Obviously got good fighters out there. Joe's my type of fighter. He's very spiteful, and it's just another level, really. I don't think there's no better cruiserweight around.
$1 highlights the financial perspective behind the potential Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight. From Oladipo's point of view, it would be unwise for Joshua to turn down such a massive payday, as the earnings could approach $100 million. For a fighter with Joshua's experience and pedigree, the threat posed by Jake Paul is minimal compared to the reward, making the matchup a low-risk, high-reward opportunity. Oladipo emphasizes that windfalls of this size are extremely rare in boxing, even for top champions, and capitalizing on them is simply smart business. He argues that Joshua is in a position where he can secure a huge financial gain with a manageable level of risk, considering Paul's relative inexperience as a professional boxer.
Someone knocks on your door and says, "Do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million?" You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be and should be easy work for AJ. Like, well, why are you going to turn down 100 million? AJ should and could knock out Jake Paul in a round. Like, if Jake Paul was over here fighting under our British Boxing Board of Control, I don't think it would be a Southern Area Cruiserweight champion. AJ is a former unified heavyweight champion of the world that I still believe is a top 10 heavyweight in the world. Like, AJ should be able to destroy him. AJ is going to be 60 pounds or so bigger than him. AJ hits like a truck. AJ is a better boxer. Like, this is a
large portion of boxing fans have been outspoken in their criticism of the idea of Anthony Joshua facing Jake Paul. Many believe this matchup is one of the biggest mockeries of professional boxing, putting a seasoned heavyweight champion against a social media figure with limited experience in traditional boxing circles. Fans worry that Joshua accepting this fight could derail a potential showdown with Tyson Fury, a far more legitimate and demanding heavyweight rival. To these critics, the matchup seems to prioritize financial gain over the sport's competitive and historical integrity. Social media and forums are filled with frustration over the perceived mismatch, with many questioning whether Joshua's legacy could be damaged by taking part in such an event.
Anthony Joshua gets in the ring with YouTuber Jake Paul, and that's what he is, YouTuber Jake Paul. Would you watch it? Simon, before we take some calls, with this seemingly in the pipeline, can we safely say goodbye to Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury?
Well, I think it's done anyway, judging by the mood music that seems to be coming out from various camps. If you listen to Tyson Fury, he seems to be, despite the fact we've danced this dance before and walked this walk before, he seems to be talking in a very different way. There's no hyperbole. I'm done. This is a younger man's game. I've done my bits. I'm at peace with where I am in life. I don't need boxing anymore. But not in the flash for cash way that Tyson often does it. In a more earnest way is my understanding of his sort of thought processes. So with that in mind, it almost feels that that's off the table anyway. Who knows? The draw of the enormous amounts of money that this one fight can generate. This is the one fight that can really get everybody paid. I mean, the two protagonists. Whatever Usyk takes, tragically for him, he wouldn't even get anywhere near as much money as potentially being offered for the Fury-Joshua fight.
What would earn AJ more of a pay packet? Fighting Fury or fighting Jake Paul?
Well, I would think tragically fighting Jake Paul.
God, what is that?
Because the revenues, because it's a Gen Z TikTok generation that wants to watch sport in a certain way.
Yeah,
and that's nothing critical of them. It's just the way that it is. And that's the circumstances of social media and the platforms that people like Jake Paul are able to cross over. It's not a case of people in the mainstream should be dinosaurs. The digital world and those opportunities and those platforms are marvelous places. And you know, you heard me talking about Mark Goldbridge the other day and the commercial deal that he did with the Bundesliga. And we can be sniffy about their level of content, or we can accept that there's a place for everybody. It's interesting that still the digital world and that's...
Analysts have pointed out that Jake Paul's decision to fight Anthony Joshua represents a major step up in competition compared to his previous opponents. Unlike the older or retired fighters he has faced before, Joshua is an active, elite professional with a proven record against top-tier challengers. This shift forces Paul to elevate his training, strategy, and mindset, as he can no longer rely on facing someone past their prime or inexperienced in serious bouts. Analysts highlight that while Paul still enters as the underdog, this matchup pushes him to test his skills more realistically, giving him a real chance to show growth and improvement.
Even bigger than the Mike Tyson fight. It's hard to say really. Tyson was a big name, but it's going to do numbers regardless, because Joshua is a big name, and then people are going to be tuning in to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right now, Eddie Hearn talks about Jake Paul taking this Joshua fight.
I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signs to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. Like, you know, I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, you know, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, you know, because AJ wouldn't mess around in there, you know, so it would be huge, but nothing, you know, to tell you it's close, just a few conversations so far.
Damn right, if Jake Paul takes this fight, he's got some major balls on him. And I know people hate influencer boxing, but come on, he's not fighting an old, retired, past the prime MMA fighter. No, he's fighting a legit boxer who's massive, 6'5", 6'6", jacked, 240, 250 pounds, shredded, power puncher. Do we need to remind ourselves of what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou was coming off a pretty good performance over Tyson Fury. He didn't get the win in that fight, but you could argue that he did actually win that fight. And Ngannou, throughout his entire MMA career, in 4-ounce gloves, very rarely got hit. He could take a punch. He's got a big fat African head. Big thick neck, traps, back. He just can't really be hit. And look what Joshua...
Shane McGuigan has expressed skepticism about whether the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight will actually happen. He calls the idea farcical, raising doubts about the practical and logistical challenges that could prevent it. McGuigan notes that while there is significant public interest and media hype, multiple factors, such as contract negotiations, promotional complications, and the physical and reputational risks, could stop the fight from coming to fruition. He also points out that from a sporting perspective, the matchup may not make sense for Joshua if maintaining competitive credibility is the main goal. McGuigan's comments echo the concerns of many within the boxing world who fear that entertainment and financial gain may take precedence over genuine sporting challenges.
Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul reports. What do you make of it? And if we were to see AJ step in with Jake Paul?
I said it yesterday, I'll say it again, I think it's farcical. I don't see how it's going to materialise. I didn't think the tank fight would materialise, and it didn't. And you know, it's all good saying that you're going to box somebody, and then but until literally they're on the ring walk and in the ring, and I'm not going to believe it.
Away from AJ, would you make of the Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. fight next week?
It's an interesting fight. Haney's up at 147. He looks good. He looks physically good. It's mad to think he's only 26 years of age. Confident-wise, I don't know what that Garcia fight took out of him. You know, because yes, he tested positive afterwards, but I believe that his Achilles heel is punch resistance, and I think, you know, it'll be interesting. I don't know enough about Norman, but I think, you know, definitely test him, and maybe Devin Haney will hold a better shot now. He's up at 147. But yeah, it's an exciting matchup. You know, I think it's a.
Analysts have observed a shift in how Jake Paul is perceived within the boxing world. Once seen mainly as a celebrity or social media figure, he is now starting to gain recognition as a legitimate boxer, largely due to the higher level of competition he is facing. This growing view of Paul as a serious competitor is changing how fans, trainers, and commentators evaluate him, earning him a newfound respect for his efforts and achievements. Analysts emphasize that this does not place Paul on the same level as elite fighters like Joshua, but it does mark an important step toward credibility in the sport.
The one that I was mostly familiar with was the Anderson Silva one. Where Anderson Silva had like one sick round where he's like, whoop, whoop, you know, doing it what Anderson Silva does and missing everything and cracks him and whatever. And then he just like the next few rounds he's back to like just getting his butt kicked by Jake Paul and walking around, doesn't look the same. Yeah. But again, I don't think these guys are actually getting dropped to like faking. I think Jake Paul actually has that kind of power. I just feel like they kind of know the deal.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna fight. Yeah. We're gonna fight. I make a lot of money. You make a lot of money, not as much money as me, but you make more money than you ever would. So you take it. You know, it is what it is. But I don't know. Kind of sucks to see all these legends, right? Like of the sport. Like you don't want to see that. You don't want to see this guy is losing to freaking Jake Paul.
I will say I loved everything about the Tyson fight in the lead up, and then as I'm actually watching it, I'm like, all right, this is actually fucked up. My bad.
Yeah, it's like senior.
Even when he turns around on.
People are starting to take Jake Paul more seriously, recognizing that he trains rigorously, studies boxing techniques, and is willing to face challenging opponents. This shift has significant implications for his career, as acknowledgement of his skill could help him secure more serious opponents and higher-profile bouts in the future. Analysts note that while he is still learning, being taken seriously represents a meaningful change in perception and signals a turning point in how crossover fighters are viewed within the boxing community.
Some other stuff like
how much Anthony Joshua made.
Is he in debt? Does he have to do, you know, they know these.
There's an outside motivation to want to do it, yeah.
And then that's probably why guys like Tyson or whatever was like, well, yeah, I need to pay some bills, let's do it.
It also gets their name back out there, like in a big way.
And it has to be a big enough name that people are interested at all. Yeah.
And I think at this point, Jake Paul is taken a little more seriously than before. Like, if it was the first fight, I think it's a lot different. But then at this point, I think it's more like, oh yeah, it's a thing. It's an exhibition.
It's a model.
This has got to be big money because even Anthony Joshua's last fight that he lost, he reportedly earned about 25 million pounds. And when he fought Francis Ngannou in March, he approximately made $50 million.
Wow.
So like rumor mill has it so that Jake Paul is set to potentially earn, Jake Paul might earn